What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video, and in this video we will take a look at Liverpool's transfer window, and also we will hear about Jurgen Klopp and why Liverpool have to prove that they were right not to spend big in this summer transfer window. I think it's a gamble and I'm very disappointed we didn't sign Coutinho on loan, because Coutinho was begging for Liverpool to take him on loan and it would have cost about £30 million for one season. But I can also understand why Jurgen Klopp didn't want to bring Coutinho in on loan, because of the way that he left Liverpool, because of the way that they have fallen out, and also how Coutinho basically gave up on this Liverpool team. I could understand why Jurgen Klopp didn't bring him in. But before we start this video, let me tell you the good news that I continued my Fantasy Premier League Football League from last season. So if you want to join and play Fantasy Premier League with me, and also there will be prizes at the end of the season for the top 3 players who finish in the top 3 places in the Fantasy Premier League. Let me know what kind of prizes should I do in the comments below. The code to join the league, the Fantasy Premier League, is here on the screen, so make sure to join and have fun. Playing in the Fantasy Premier League is so much fun. But put sentimentality aside, Liverpool would have been stronger with Coutinho, and I also really wanted Liverpool to sign Ryan Sessegnon. In the end, Ryan Sessegnon ended up at Tottenham. So how do you rate Liverpool's transfer window out of 10? I rate it as like a 4, maybe a 5, but yeah, we didn't really get stronger, but we didn't get weaker either. We kept all of our key players. Moreno and Sturridge were playing very little last season, so they weren't big losses, if you like. But we haven't replaced Moreno. We don't have a really good backup left back for Andy Robertson. Larouci is still a young player. He doesn't have any Premier League experience. And we have James Milner, but he's 33 years old. And sometimes against explosive, pacey wingers, Milner struggled as a left back. But let's hear about Jurgen Klopp. Let's hear from Jurgen Klopp and what he had to say about Liverpool's transfer window, because Jurgen Klopp was asked in his pre-Norwich press conference. By the way, I'm so excited for the Norwich game to be today. I will be covering it, so very happy about that. Jurgen Klopp was asked why Liverpool did not reinvest heavily on new players. This is what Jurgen Klopp said: big teams stay together for a number of years. I really think it makes sense to keep this team together, but we have to prove that. If we had bought new players, people might ask, after you played last season like this, you sent some of them away. Some rivals spent transfer deadline day giving the impression of blind panic. Klopp, you could not wait until transfer deadline day was over. Around 90% of our people are with us with the transfer policy. That's what Jurgen Klopp said. I'm not sure if that's the case. Do you think that 90% of Liverpool fans didn't want one proper signing? I mean, Adrian is a proper first team signing, but he's a goalkeeper and he came on a free transfer. It's still a very good transfer, but I think more than 10% of Liverpool fans wanted a little bit more from this transfer window. But Jurgen Klopp thinks otherwise. Jurgen Klopp said this: 10%, maybe not with us with the transfer policy, but they are on social media. They are constantly worried. If you sign a player, they ask if it is the right player. Nobody should think that we didn't look. It is not that we are not negotiating like crazy as well in these times, but finding the right solution is more difficult the better the team gets. It's true what Jurgen Klopp is saying here. Liverpool's starting 11 is so good now that it's very difficult, and it would probably take 80, 90, 100 million pounds to upgrade the starting 11, to sign a player who is better than one of Liverpool's starting 11 players. But let's look at Man City. They are the benchmark. We want to overcome them. We want to finish ahead of them, because I think the team which finishes ahead of Man City will win the Premier League title. Are we as good as Man City in terms of our squad? Do we have as much depth? No chance. We don't have Jesus, Gabriel Jesus, Mahrez and Leroy Sané on the bench. And yes, Leroy Sané got a long-term injury now, tearing his ACL, so he will be missing probably 5-6 months at least, maybe even more. But still, Mahrez and Gabriel Jesus on the bench for Man City is better than Liverpool having Origi, Shaqiri, Ryan Brewster. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can play up front as well, maybe on the wing. And I don't think Liverpool have the strength in depth. But Jurgen Klopp said this, do me a favor when I say this, because I'm not comparing us with Barcelona of 5, 6, 7 years ago, but they stayed together. A new player came in and then struggled, and the same players played again. Man United had the class of 92. How long did they stay together? They changed a couple of strikers after Eric Cantona got older, and brought in Ruud van Nistelrooy and other players. But we are a good team together in a very difficult league with a lot of competitors desperate to get into the position that we are in. We have to make our decisions based on our expectations of what we think we can do this year. By the way, the history of Liverpool doesn't end this season. We will judge the season and we will see what we have to do. Maybe then it will be easier to find improvement. And Liverpool operate in the long term. Jurgen Klopp very clearly sees this as an evolution. Each season we try to get better. And just remember to trust Jurgen Klopp, because I think many fans were very angry when Liverpool decided to sell Coutinho and not replace him in the January transfer window, and we haven't directly replaced Coutinho in the summer transfer window after that. But Liverpool actually got better without Philippe Coutinho, so I think Jurgen Klopp knows what he's doing, and after winning the Champions League he should be trusted, and I trust him fully. I just want what's best for Liverpool, and I just want Liverpool to be as strong as possible, to win as many trophies as possible. And I thought maybe a backup left back, maybe a backup winger, somebody who costs like 20-30 million pounds, not a crazy transfer, but a decent transfer. I would have loved to see if Nabil Fekir and Ryan Sessegnon at Liverpool, as I said previously. I think those players were available. I mean, Fekir went for like 20-25 million pounds to Real Betis. If Liverpool wanted him, he would be a Liverpool player right now. Same with Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon is a boyhood Liverpool fan. If Liverpool showed any interest in Ryan Sessegnon, he would have been like sprinting towards Anfield. That's my opinion. But let's hope that Jurgen Klopp is right and this squad is good enough to play the whole season. We just need to get a little bit lucky with injuries, because if any of our front three get injured, if Robertson gets injured, if Fabinho gets injured, if Van Dijk gets injured or Alisson gets injured, Liverpool will be in trouble. But that's probably true to almost every other team, maybe apart from Man City. The problem is we want to finish ahead of Man City and win the Premier League title, so it's going to be very interesting to see if Liverpool their starting 11 can stay fit, because I think then we have one hell of a chance. Jurgen Klopp said, it's very important you don't compare seasons. In other sports, say you are the Olympic 100-meter winner in 9.76 seconds, then 4 years later you are again in the final and you don't want to be better than 4 years before, you only want to win the race. That's what we are trying to do. Last year gave us a few important pieces of information. For sure, we could increase our self-awareness and confidence as well. Do we want to have the best defense again? Yes. Do we wish that Alisson gets the Golden Gloves award again? Yes. That means you don't have to score 5 goals each game to win. On the other hand, we just have to be fully into this season and don't think about what happened last season. So what's Jurgen Klopp's boldest prediction? He said, we will be fine. I agree, we will be fine. We will be in the title race, but I don't want Liverpool to just be fine. I want us to be great. I want Liverpool to be the best team in the country, the best team in Europe, potentially the best team in the world. Liverpool have the chance to do so, but we need to be a little bit lucky with injuries. Let me know, how do you feel about Liverpool's transfer window? Because Arsenal and Tottenham in particular had really good transfer windows, especially Arsenal. I think they nailed it. They needed a new centre-back, they got it, David Luiz. Even though he's not world-class, not very good, David Luiz is still a decent centre-back, better than Mustafi, better than, maybe their other centre-backs. So Arsenal signed David Luiz, a centre-back that they really needed. They signed Kieran Tierney, a left-back, which they really needed as well. I would have loved to see Kieran Tierney or Ryan Sessegnon at Liverpool, but it wasn't to be. And we don't have a proper left-back, a senior left-back who has experience at Liverpool to back up Andrew Robertson. That's my big worry. If Robertson gets a long-term injury, Liverpool will be screwed, and I don't like it. Also, Arsenal got Nicolas Pepe, a very, very good player. I think that's an upgrade on Iwobi. It was a strange seeing Arsenal selling their youth academy player Iwobi to Everton on transfer deadline day. It's a good signing for Everton. And also Arsenal got Dani Ceballos on loan. So I think Arsenal probably got the best transfer window out of the top 6. Man City also strengthened considerably. They signed Rodri, they signed Angelino, they signed Joao Cancelo for £60 million. That just blows my mind how Man City can spend close to £200 million just on fullbacks under Pep Guardiola. Chelsea and Man United, I think, are the biggest losers of the transfer window. Chelsea, of course, have a transfer ban. They still somehow could sign Kovacic, and they have a lot of young players coming back from their loan spell. Tammy Abraham and Michy Batshuayi will be very, very good strikers for Chelsea, but it's a big question how they will cope with the Premier League. And of course, Man United selling Lukaku and not bringing in a replacement, that will really, really hurt them. I know that Lukaku got a lot of criticism from the Man United fans, but still, I think Man United got weaker in the transfer window, if I'm perfectly honest. Even though Daniel James and their other signings are decent, losing Lukaku and not replacing him is a travesty. If I was a Man United fan, I would be livid, because they have basically Marcus Rashford and Greenwood as their only 2 strikers. And yes, Martial can play as a striker, Sanchez can play as a striker, but they are wingers. Let's be honest here, they are not out-and-out strikers. So it's a big gamble for Man United. And also Tottenham had a very good transfer window. They signed Lo Celso from Real Betis. He is a very, very good player. Not many Premier League fans know how good Lo Celso has been at Real Betis. They also Tanguy Ndombele is very good. Ryan Sessegnon is very good. So Tottenham also nailed it in the transfer window. I'm just happy at this point that Dybala didn't join Tottenham, that Coutinho didn't join Tottenham or Arsenal on loan, because on transfer deadline day there was a real danger that those 2 players could also have joined Tottenham, and oh boy, Tottenham would have been a serious title contender if that happened. At this stage, I think Man City and Liverpool will fight it out for the title. Tottenham will probably finish 3rd, and then it's anybody's guess who will finish in the top 4 in 4th place. Trent Alexander-Arnold gave an interview after he got a mural in Liverpool revealed by the Anfield rep. Huge congratulations, they have done a magnificent job with that mural. They have a saying there next to Trent Alexander-Arnold's picture painted on a big wall in Liverpool. I'm just a normal lad from Liverpool whose dreams has just come true, and he was photographed with the mural behind him, which is just a brilliant photo. This is what Trent Alexander-Arnold said about the last few years as a boyhood Liverpool fan, playing for his boyhood club and winning the Champions League. You never quite think that this sort of thing will happen, that you are going to end up with this on the side of a building. It's something that's kind of taken me by surprise, but something that I've always wanted to happen. To get to this point, maybe it's come a bit early, but to be a part of something like this is incredible. I thought the mural was a wind-up at first, but when I realized it was real, it's something you always dream of, but you never realize that this could happen. It's something to be incredibly proud of, and something that me and my family are over the moon with. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that made it happen. There's been a lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifices that I've had to make for me to get to this point, and there will be a lot more that need to be made to get even further, to reach higher. I think you've just got to be prepared to make those sacrifices and to say no to things, to put things aside, to keep on the right path. It's about the people you have around you that will motivate you to want to do that. Not to fear you are forced to, but that you want to do it for them because they have sacrificed things for you. You are doing it for the good of your family, the good of your friends around you. The main message that kids should be picking up from me and my story is that anything is possible and anything can happen, because I was once that kid in a Gerrard or a Carragher shirt. They were the players I always had, the local ones in the team. They were the ones who made me feel as though anything can happen. It wasn't the players coming in, but the ones who said they were just normal lads in Liverpool, and it's just a cycle of being a normal lad, being able to see people living their dream and living your dream. Hopefully that's the message the young people are picking up from what's happening. It's not just a picture. Obviously, it's important. The message about the food banks is there. Obviously, we got told it was only a few meters down the road from the ground, and hopefully it will raise a bit of awareness and let people know they can give back whenever they can. Food banks are always there for the good of the city, to try and get rid of the poverty and to help the people going hungry. You've got to be ready to be a role model. That's part and parcel of the game now. It's not like in the old days where it was literally just football and you could do what you want off the pitch. It has to be a 24/7 thing, but you got used to it straight away. I think the work we do at the academy has prepared us really well. It's not about just being able to hold your own on the pitch. It's about ready to work hard and do everything off the pitch as well. I think as long as you are a good person, then people will see that and people will look up to you. So that's the main thing, is just to be a good person first and foremost, and back it up with the football. A lot of stories about the charity work that we do comes afterwards. Up until then, you don't really hear about what you have been doing in the community. The lads are all more than willing to do it. If you ask anybody who's asked any of the players to do anything, then it's always been a yes. They have always been willing to do it, no matter where they are from, the city or not. They are willing to give back. I think the main thing about Liverpool is that the players don't just fall in love with the club. They fall in love with the city. A lot of old players that aren't originally from Liverpool will always come back to Liverpool because there's a connection. The fans give so much to you that you feel indebted to them. A massive example of that is Rafa Benitez. Even though he moved on, he's still always given back to the city and felt that connection. The lads don't feel as though they are forced to do the community work. It's always optional, and they do it because they think the people in the city are so good and they feel as though they can help them. So why wouldn't you help them? And what a brilliant interview by Trent Alexander-Arnold. What a great role model he is, and I'm just so happy that he got this mural, because I think he deserves it. He has been a model professional, and his rise through the academy to the first team is actually a dream come true for him. And also it's an inspiration for all the young Liverpool fans who are starting to play football, and also all the youngsters who are in the Liverpool under-18s, under-21s, under-23s, that you can make it at Liverpool. If you are good enough and you work hard and you stay humble, you can make it into the first team. There is a direct path from the youth academy to the first team. You just need to work hard and try to improve as much each game, each training session as a Liverpool player, and you can make it into the first team. And I think that's very, very encouraging for everybody at Liverpool, especially the young players. And that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.